It's time for another episode of Left Hand Poetry. I'm your host and poet, Rob Murray. This week is a poem from Regret and Opportunity, and it started with a friend who was performing in a local production of A Midsummer's Night Dream, and from there it became the poem Goodfellow. Goodfellow. In the wee darking hours far late in the night, when the clock stands erect, but most men are bowed, to sit on my porch, Robin Goodfellow he flowed. He drank of my ale, and we spoke of old things, we spoke of things new, and of things yet unseen, and stared at the stars, and wondered aloud what must fall in between. He stared at his mug that was full but now not, and he cursed the damned habit, swore it off there, he threw it on my mug, none more for me, this I swear. Robin, he turned to look back at my face, apology dawned on his lips, but I waved my hand, and bade him pay it no mind, for I supported his temperate stand. Good fellow, tell me more of your travels, let us speak no more of this glass. I addressed him by name, Good Puck, Clever Puck, ever different, yet ever the same. And so that clever old Puck did dance on his heels for a chance to regale a new friend with old words, and he picked through his mind and withdrew a fine tale from that store. Good friend, I have never told you this tale, he began with a gleam in his eye, of a stranger I met whilst I pondered alone. It's a moment I won't soon forget. The old man walked over, presented himself, and offered his hand for mine. I accepted his offer, and our grips did embrace. Then he told me his name was Avo. I know who you are, I said through a smile. I'd recognize you anywhere. Even without your keyboard or fine rolled tobacco, I know you from near or from far. I so hated to see you sitting alone, he confessed with a grin of his own. So he sat down with me and offered a smoke, which I cut with a click of my teeth. I tell you, my friend, on my honor as Puck, that this was the finest cigar. Truly this man is not of your world. He must be of Oberon's land. He noticed that I had taken his measure, and the smile erased from his lips. I plead for discretion, my dear old Goodfellow, for I've not finished my self-sought redemption. He then shook his head as he noticed my face, so poised as to ask a question. I respected his plea, and withdrew my look, so I took my cigar, happily. Good Puck, then he told me how they both just sat there, enjoying the music of life. Eventually they spoke, sweet smoke and company, and admire each other betwixt tokes. The tobacco too soon had then run its course, and Avo and Robin they parted. Robin, he swore, to keep this meat secret from all of those fey folk demure. My dear human friend, how I've waited to share this tale of my magical night. Promise me you'll keep it to you, but for myself, I am nobody's fool. I promised dear Robin right then and there to keep this his secret in close, for a time, more or less. But as you now know, it's too fine. So, dear reader, I now ask of you, should you ever be met by Goodfellow, give him my best, and some fine sparkling juice, but let's not share all of the rest. Again, that was Goodfellow from Regret and Opportunity. If you enjoyed this poem, then be sure to visit my website, robertcmurray.com, and scroll down a bit past the information about my science fiction novel. There, you'll find this podcast and links to purchase any or all 3 of my poetry books. Also, please be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. Thank you. You can find me on Twitter. I'm at LeftHandRob. I'm also on Facebook, facebook.com/Robert C. Murray Poet. And before I sign off, I'll once again say that all Black lives matter. And please visit my blog, lefthandrob.net, where you'll find links to donate to help support a variety of racial and social justice causes. And that's it for this edition. I'll see you next time for another installment of Left Hand Poetry.